towards the end. So get comfy. We're going to bore you. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about upsell products. Why do we call these upsell products? The reason is believe it or not, you can kind of get the benefits of these products without the products. Odds are you haven't been though. So I'm going to ask a question right now. Right? One of the best things we can do for our health is to eat 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. How many of us are doing that? Raise your hand. I've traveled with you for 3 days. No. All right, one person raised their hand. All right. Looks like Australia's pretty honest. You know, it's funny, I asked that same question in the States, and like 90% of their people will raise their hand. And let's say I was in Austin. The joke I always say is a recent survey out of Austin suggests 90% of people are dishonest. Good to know in Australia you guys are honest. That's right. Now, why do we need fruits and vegetables? Why do we need what are called plants? You're all getting here full of plants tonight, unfortunately. Right? By the end of this, I'm going to be like Dr. Reed. I've never heard of that guy. He's an old pest. But in this scenario, why do we need fruits and vegetables? Why is it that people who eat fruits and vegetables live longer? Vitamins and minerals. All right, we have a group of vitamins and minerals, and scientists, we call those things essential. Now, in science, we like to use words nobody really uses because it makes us feel smarter. Some people speak Spanish and Portuguese, some speak science. Really? It's just a different language. Essential just means our body can't make it. So we have to get it from nature. Right? So, there's like 26 essential vitamins and minerals, meaning my body can't make calcium. I have to eat calcium. Calcium is one of them, right? We hear about there's 20 amino acids, but 9 to 11, depending on who you talk to, are essential. Meaning, I can make about 10 of them, but 10 of them I need to get from the food I eat. So, in this scenario, we need our essential vitamins and minerals. Now, here's the thing. Scientists, we like to say, look, if I don't give them calcium, they die. It's essential. And it's a very binary approach to life. As if there's only 26 vitamins and minerals that are required to make you you. Take that away of all of the thousands and thousands of other phyto compounds. Phyto means plant. So all of the other plant compounds that aren't necessarily essential vitamins and minerals, they may not be required for life, but they are required for optimal life. We really haven't broken that out. If you can live without them, it's not essential. I don't know about you, but I don't think that's any way to live a life. That there is a variety, there's dozens and thousands of other compounds that are necessarily not required for living, but required for living. And that right there is the crux behind these next 2 products that I want to talk about. Elite and see, I'm using the slides after all, right? The honor, the 12 hours you used to make these slides, it's finally paid off, right there. All right, and giving greens. These 2 are critical. Now, the reason is it's providing you a concentration of botanicals that boggles the mind. 1 serving of this contains a kilo of vegetables. 1 person raised their hand. It's not required for you. For the other 140 of us in the room, it is. The power of that to make it convenient is beautiful. Getting those phytocompounds that are so critical for optimal living is a beautiful thing. Not only is it much more convenient, it is much more fruitful. Additionally, in this, it's not just one vegetable. The dynamics of all of the different of vital compounds from different botanicals that come together is immense. When you open up the supermarket today, there is seriously probably only about 6 different fruits and vegetables that are highly consumed. It doesn't matter which hotel I go to, they seem to always serve the same 3 vegetables: broccoli, corn, and cauliflower. And additionally, in this, they'll usually serve a couple of the same. I saw them here as well: orange, apple, and banana. The same fruits. The variety of different vitamins and vital compounds that our body needs for optimal living are found in dozens and dozens of different fruits and vegetables. And in today's world, simply not available. We're not given access to that market. And the beautiful thing in the partner code was we have brought that market to you in a convenient way, giving you the opportunity to achieve that optimal nutrition. And that's the power of these 2 products. And now you combine this with the drops. Not only only balancing your body, but now you are giving your body what it needs for optimal performance. And then the last product that I'm going to talk about is this, which we all know. Okay, so, as I said before, I am a nerd, right? I am a scientist through and through. In fact, I hide it, but I have a variety of different tattoos. You know, tattoos are cool. They're all of different scientific instruments: telescopes, microscopes, prisms, you name it. I have the unique ability to even make the most cool, rickety things boring and nerd. I married a competitive snowboarder at a very high level who loves punk music. And if there is ever a common example of a Prince Charles marrying Princess Diana, that's me and my wife. Everyone's like, oh my goodness, Princess Diana, she's out partying. Prince Charles right here, right? That is our relationship, right? But it's a beautiful thing because what I am saying for all of this confession right here is, in this scenario, I am a nerd, and the reason I brought into this is in 5th grade, I was actually a town beekeeper. Young age of about 10, I was the one that whenever there was a wild swarm of bees, I was the one that was called to domesticate them. I'd be pulled out of elementary school by the principal, and I'd save the town. That's right, I'm a hero. Not all heroes wear capes, some of us wear bonnets, right? And that was me. I did it twice. It was only twice. But man, those were the 2 best days of my life. But in that scenario, what I love and was always fascinated is life. The bee, the plant, right? The ant, the hummingbird, the crocodile that we ran away from, that caused spider flight in us that we learned about. They all boil down to this same exact mechanism. They're all made of cells. All life on Earth, even the bacteria, is made of cells. And it was such, once I understood this concept, all of a sudden the bee didn't become an insect. It became my sibling. We were connected. We were made of the exact same stuff. And then you dive into the cell, and you realize the millions of chemical reactions that are happening inside the cell of the honeybee are the same identical chemical reactions that are happening inside my cells. And then you realize the power that the reactions are happening the same. It made not only us siblings, but it almost felt that we were one. And it was at that moment that I was like, I am going to be a scientist. Now, this is the beauty of all life on Earth, is that we are connected. But additionally, all life on Earth has its limitations. All life ages. Everything, even the tortoise on the Galapagos Islands that live to be 600 years old, age. Even trees that have lived thousands of years eventually age and die. Why is it all life has a And why is it, as I age, my body breaks down? Why is it, as I age, I'm more susceptible to sickness? Why is it that Decker isn't tired and I am? Have you guys ever thought about the word antioxidant? What that means? Antioxidant, oxygen. But yet, I thought oxygen was a good thing. You ever wondered, why would I want an antioxidant? That sounds like something you'd tell children not to play with, right? Why do you want an anti, or something that is required for life? Well, oxygen, the oxygen you breathe in is what? O2. Oxygen is a unique molecule. It's highly reactive by itself. So it wants to combine with other things. So, for example, rarely do you ever just see O by itself. It will be O combined with two nitrogen atoms. All right, I used to think the American education system was bad. H2O mix. All right. Phew. All right. Oxygen. That I breathe in is O2. Right? It's always going to combine with something. Now, interestingly, what do you exhale? CO2. You notice there's a difference there? I take in O2, I exhale. Okay, here's a little tidbit for you guys. Have you ever wondered when you lose weight, where does it go? Do you think you sweat it out? Do you think you go to the bathroom it out? No. You exhale. The weight you lose doesn't find its way into the sewer system, it finds its way into the atmosphere. That carbon is, everyone's trying to breathe really fast right now. Before I tell people this, I feel like I need to give everyone breath mints. It's because it's a collective up on stage. It's a collective 200 people's breath coming at me at once. No. But that carbon is what came in from the food. That carbon was yesterday's pasta. Right? That sat there. And our body then sucked the energy out of those bombs and then it's left with this unenergized carbon and then it throws it onto an oxygen and sends it out of your body. That's life. All life on Earth. From the bacteria to us. Utilize that method. It's called cellular respiration. Now, beautiful thing, but the problem is to attach that carbon, those oxygens have to be momentarily split. And when they're split, they're sexually reactive. When they're split, that momentarily that they are split, they form what is called a free radical. A free radical, as that oxygen is looking around, just anxiously looking to find and bind itself to whatever it can, and does a variety of damage. It is a ticking time bomb looking to attach itself to any organic molecule or DNA, which when it binds to it, mutates. To proteins, when it binds to it, it causes them to gum up or to be decomposed. That's why when you're collagen, it gets what's called oxidized, breaks down. That's why we get wrinkles. Right? That oxygen will bind to your cell membrane and cause those cells to ultimately break open and fall apart. That is why your immune system begins to be more fragile as you age. Those oxygens begin to just bind every which way and do damage from the inside out. That's why all life ages. Now, our body has the ability to sequester that as much as possible. Right? For example, our body makes glutathione. Glutathione is a great antioxidant. But it doesn't do it all. Antioxidants can only be used once. An antioxidant more or less lets the oxygen attach to it. And then it dies off. Takes the one for the team, so to speak, right? Now, in this scenario, what we need to do is we want to surround ourselves with as much antioxidants as possible. Because you look, I'm going to go back a slide or two, and you see all of these benefits of knowing, you're like, how can one thing do so much? All I'm going to point out is you notice all of those things are found in older people and less in younger. So when you ask, how can one thing do so much? It is because it's simply helping our body age less. And in that scenario, what is happening is our body is being better at responding to those free radicals as they are hitting us. This is something that is so important because as you are losing weight, you're utilizing the energy that our body is storing, right? If we eat more than we burn, our body just doesn't say, "Oh, I don't need you," and go on your way. Our body is a wonderful saving machine. It is very frugal, and it loves to have its savings account wherever the swimming suit doesn't cover. And what it does is it stores that energy in the form of fat, and it just sits there. And right now we have the equivalent of the Saudi Arabia oil fields of energy around our waistline of energy, and now we're utilizing the drops that help us balance our body. We're starting to utilize our own energy reserve, and in that scenario, we are now increasing our metabolic rate, which means we are now using more oxygen, which then means we are now exposing ourselves to more free radicals, which now means we should be supplemented with more antioxidants. And in that scenario, one of the greatest avenues that we can do to supplement with those is found in TNJ and Vinali. Two great antioxidants. By birth, we'll get this right. All right. But in that, great way to supplement daily in getting those antioxidant components as you are increasing that metabolic rate. So, when we talk about products that we should be taking each and every day, it's this. It's these. To allow our body to age more gracefully. And as we talk about the drops to become who we are, and to give our body not what it needs to just survive, but to be what it should be optimally. And to supplement that with what allows us to age more gracefully. The power of nature's antioxidants. So, with that, I'm going to end. It's been an absolute pleasure. I love Australia. It is like a second home to me. Thank you so much.